Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. I'm Mokhtaris Kiriantoro. Today, I would like to present my undergraduate thesis. The title is Racial Discrimination Toward African American as Seen in Jordan Peele's Get Out movie, A Sociological Approach. First, introduction of the study. Racial discrimination is one of the worst social problems that still exists up to this very moment in every part of the world. It can be defined as the mistreatment of a group of people on the basis of race, color, and religion. Racial discrimination is also the belief that race accounts for difference in human character and that a particular race is superior to others. This problem is very serious because it always leads to destruction, not only to human beings but also the society. The racial discrimination and stereotype has been discussed for many years, and its issue is still shown today in various ways, including a film. This paper discusses one main problem related to racial issues, which are the racial discrimination and stereotype of black people in Jordan Peele's Get Out movie. Second, objectives of the study. The researcher will identify the problem that appears in this movie as follows. First, to find out how racism is occurred in Get Out movie. Second, to find out what stereotypes are happening in Get Out movie. Third, in the theoretical framework, the researcher explained about racism, stereotype, and sociological approach. First, racism. Racism and racial discrimination are one of the big problems. It's being faced by the world community at this time on such a scale big. The issue, which is motivated by the diversity of the human race, has been a long time be a serious issue or problem that deserves more attention from the state, the government, and the people themselves. Second, stereotypes. In general, stereotypes are labeling or making against a certain group. This stereotype has many disadvantages and causes injustice. One of these stereotypes is that sourced from a racist perspective. Lots of injustice with respect to certain race, generally black people, who have their source from the marking stereotype attached to them. Many government regulations, religious rules, and cultural community habits develop because of the stereotype. Third, sociological approach. Marked in Swingwood, 1972, page 11, sociology is essentially the scientific, objective study of man in society, the study of social institutions and social process. It seeks to answer the question of how society is possible, how it works, and where it persists. Sociology studies humans in a real condition in everyday life, while literature is made based on phenomena on everyday happening in social life. Findings and discussion. This chapter, there are two major points that the writer wants to analyze. First, racism as portrayed in Get Out movie. Second, the stereotype as portrayed in Get Out movie. In the first problem, the writer focused on the racism of character in Get Out movie. Racism is often used to describe the animosity and the negative feelings of an ethnic group toward other ethnic groups. In the second problem, the writer focused on the stereotype of character in Get Out movie. Stereotypes are labeling or making against a certain group. This stereotype has many disadvantages and causes injustice. In the analysis, the writer wants to analyze the quotation which relate to the problems. In the first, the writer will put the quotation which relate to the racism in the Get Out movie and explain every quotation. In the second problem, the writer will put quotation which relate the stereotype in Get Out movie and explain every quotation. This quotation shows American within its discrimination between black and whites was not a pretty odd social phenomenon because the country was founded on racism belief. Chris said he's not ready to meet his girlfriend's parents cause he's fair. That if her parents do not accept him because he is black people. This quotation above, we can see how the white people assume that black people do not deserve equal rights. There was discrimination against black people. White people hold power or domination over black people because the majority of American population is white. Meanwhile, black people become a minority that has no power at all. This is discrimination that places black people as residents who have a lower degree than white people, thus making them target of injustice in politics, education, employment, and other. This citation above is illustrate that microaggression not only make racist assumptions, but help contribute to the idea that Chris' body is something to be wanted because of these attributes. Chris' body is sexually fetishized by a woman named Lisa, who asks Rose, "It is better?" The conversation above occurred when Dean introduced Chris to his friends. But when Chris tries to avoid them, one of Dean's friends asks Chris about how he felt as an African American. The question in the situation above surprised Chris. It explained that Hiroki is curious about Chris' life, for basically, life between black and white is in contrast. In addition, the word advantage and disadvantage explain that in black life there is only a choice between profit and loss. It means that black life has no direction or even such a plan. Black life is only a choice between advantage and disadvantage. The situation above is one of rematch of racial stereotype in this movie. Conclusion. From this movie, we know that the existence of black supremacist ideology that emanates from African American portrayals in Get Out movie as a form of understanding the ideology of black nationalism. African American portrayal seems to want to break the negative stereotypes that are already embedded in society by showing that African Americans are better than white people. Black ideology supremacy is a value used by media makers to change the negative depiction of African American through film, which is a product of mass communication. Media makers realize that the ability of media or film can change and shape views in society, so that media makers in this case are said to embrace the ideology of black nationalism. That's all my undergraduate thesis presentation. Thank you.